he Googled his own name and found me. So that was a bit of a problem. But anyway, we're together. Two Cameron Doyles, yeah.
Everyone has Googled themselves at least once in their life. And if you say you haven't, you're lying. I've definitely Googled myself, and I wasn't the first result. It was this guy, and also this party animal. But the first result was this guy, another Cameron Doyle running around the globe. And after a bit of clicking, I saw this imposter Cameron Doyle had a Wikipedia page, because he's a former Australian rules footballer who played with Collingwood in the Victorian Football League. And then I found this.
My name's Cameron Doyle. I've got a shop called Memorabilia on Smith in Smith Street, Fitzroy.
So I gave the memorabilia shop in Fitzroy a call.
Good afternoon, Memorabilia on Smith. Cameron speaking.
G'day, mate. How are you? Is that Cameron Doyle?
It is.
This is a really weird thing to be telling you. My name is also Cameron Doyle.
Oh, great.
He was stoked.
And I was just wondering if I could come and bloody meet you.
No worries, mate. That'll be fun.
Yeah, a bit of fun.
We'll both driver's license together and take a picture.
You're a king. I love how you've just...
Good on you, mate.
You've completely jumped on board.
Cameron.
See you, mate. Oh, he loves to wrap up a conversation quick, but I'm in. Cammy boy!
So I packed up my car, left my twerking girlfriend at home, subbed in my bro Matty Cap and drove 1,480 kilometres from Adelaide to Melbourne to meet my name twin. Victoria!
Hell yeah.
As we slowly made our way into Lonely Planet's former most livable city in the world, the nerves began to sink in.
I'm a little bit nervous because we've just hit the outskirts of Melbs. Yeah, I just hope he's a nice guy, because I feel like I try my hardest to be the nicest boy that I can be. If I meet the guy and, you know, he's not very nice, or he kicks us out pretty quickly, I'll be really bit cut.
But I had to get over that pretty dang quick, because before I knew it, we were in Fitzroy, turning onto Smith Street and finding Memorabilia on Smith.
Memorabilia on Smith.
It was time to meet my name twin.
Here we go. How you going?
Good, mate. What's happening?
Good, mate. My name is Cameron Doyle.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing, all right, bro?
Yeah, good, mate.
You well?
Don't tell me you've driven over from Adelaide.
No. Regardless, let's meet the man I share a name with.
And my name's Cameron Doyle, exactly like the film producer here. And he's just given me a random call yesterday and said he'd be in to come and see me and see what we're doing. I think he was, he Googled his own name and found me. So that was a bit of a problem. But anyway, we're together. Two Cameron Doyles, yeah. While you're at a collectibles and memorabilia shop called Memorabilia on Smith.
How long have you been collecting all of this?
Oh, mate, I'm a nutcase. Look, I'm playing with cereal toys, look. There was a little shop quite close to me in Clifton Hill. I used to give them some stuff to put in and they, you know, we'd go halves each. Yeah. And then it got to a point where I was working for them on a Saturday, so I had more and more stuff. So I'd work for free for them on a Saturday, and then I said to them, look, whenever you're ready, I'll take over if you want. I remember getting really worried. It was $250 a week rent, which is like 15 years ago, and I was really a bit worried. But yeah, now I'm paying like 4 or 5 times that. We used to put stuff out on the street and have no problems with, you know, the footpath licence and that, but now you've got to pay $500 for a footpath licence, and so the world's changed. It used to be a lot more fun in the old days.
The other cummy boy's just left. He's taking a piss. So he's left the shop on the line. It's all a bit surreal, really. So much gear.
Well, years and years ago, you know, I had a kick at Collingwood in the 80s and I started collecting stuff when I was at the club. So I used to collect game-worn jumpers. Yeah, no, I was very lucky to get a few games and yeah, I loved it. That's where I used to barrack for Essendon, and then when I got the chance to play for Collingwood, I played 3 years in the under-19s and then, you know, went up onto the senior list, and it really did have a huge impact on me, and I still see a lot of the guys now. Yeah, at least you've got plenty of ideas for coverage, you know.
Oh, mate.
You know, so what we do just quickly,
Yeah.
we do old toys, you know, kind of superheroes toys. We've got old tin toys, you know, Star Trek and $6 Million Man. There's even a Stretch Armstrong.
Floor to ceiling, just little pockets of nostalgia.
Yeah, every single little thing someone can relate to one day. I've got funny stories where there's stuff that I don't value. I say, oh mate, that's I'm nearly ready to throw that out. You know, it's just getting in the way. No one's going to buy this. And then the next minute, someone will come in and go, "You're kidding? That $50? That's a steal." So, you know, there is a collectible for everyone. You know.
What do you think, Capo?
It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Well, there's 3 rooms, so there's shit everywhere. So step over there. Okay. When I first set up, as you can see behind there, it's like an old milk bar. See, like there's old shelves and stuff like that. And we used to have old people come in and say, oh, you know, they'd trundle in and say, oh, can I get a pint of milk, Sonny? And I'd go, mate, this isn't a milk bar. this is a collectible shop. Yeah, so this is my favourite piece. It's a Senate's Bear. So Senate's was an ice cream company that was around in the, you know, 40s, 50s, 60s. It was bought out by Streets. And these bears were outside of shops, much as the Peter's ice cream cones are, or were. Now there's Peter's ice cream cones that are a little bit different and a bit more modern. And they used to light up. So when Streets took over, Streets pulled all of these Senate's bears down and pretty much trashed them.
Really?
So broke them up and put them in the rubbish. So the fact that there's still, they reckon there's, you know, 20 to 30 of them around. You wouldn't kind of quite relate to them because they're a Victorian brand, you know. But they had a factory in South Melbourne and they're an iconic, you know, kind of piece of, you know, advertising folklore. A lot of people that come in, you know, there was toys that they would have liked to have as a kid or they did have. You know, most times people leave, they say, oh, I've got to ring mum straight away to see if she's still got my footy cards or my Action Jackson. Our theory is, you know, be charmed by the past. You know, we say to know where you're going, you got to know where you've been, you know, so have a little bit of fun. I think that's the key in it, you know. And that's why we want people, when they're coming through, to have a smile on their face. Most of them either swear or they start laughing really loud, you know. So there's people floating through now. As long as they leave with a smile, we say that's fine, you know. And then we often say if something hasn't fallen on your head, you haven't been in the shop long enough. You know, because there's stuff, as you can see, there's layers and layers of stuff everywhere. So it's a bit problematic, you know, people can trip over and that a bit. But we try and use our space. We're paying good money for it, so we may as well fill it up, Cam.
Anyways, back onto the Cam Doyle chat.
And what do you get, Cam, a bit?
Dad gets a lot of doily. That he's more of a...
What's your dad's name?
Chris.
All right, well, my dad was Stuart. He was a cyclist, and he commentated the Olympics and Commonwealth Games and stuff like that.
Dad did?
Stuart Doyle, yeah.
Here's a pic of our dads actually meeting a couple of days after I visited the shop.
And he works in here on a Wednesday and Thursday. 2 police guys come to my front door one day when I was still living at home. So I would have been probably 16 or something, 16, 17. And they were friends of mine. So they were, you know, kind of, I think they were 3 or 4, maybe 5 years older. And they come to the front door and said, can we speak to Cameron Doyle? And I said, you are speaking to Cameron Doyle? And they said, oh, yeah, no, we don't need you. So it must have been some other older Cameron Doyle that had done something wrong. When students at my university were doing our teaching rounds as part of our PE course, one of the girls in my course taught a Cameron Doyle. I never met him, but she said, oh, he was a great little kid and, you know, was really charming and had a go at everything. And I buy New Balance, I wear New Balance all the time. There's a bit of a plug. And the guys down there, every time they get the wrong email, And there's 3 Cameron Doyles down there, and one of them's Cameron Mark Doyle, which is your full name. I'm Cameron Michael Doyle. So plenty of them out there, I think.
After our chat, we compared driver's licenses like the other Cameron Doyle wanted to, and we said our goodbyes.
No worries, Cam. Yeah, fantastic. I'm glad you enjoyed the shop.
He's one of the most like eclectic, interesting, I wouldn't say flamboyant, but just like he exuberates just energy. Loves the story, and that's like one of my favourite things about a human. I'm just really stoked to have met the big fella. If you ever find yourself in Melbourne, specifically Fitzroy, make sure you jump down on Smith Street and go and see memorabilia on Smith.
What's the point of this video? Well, there isn't one really. Or maybe it's to give into your ego and Google yourself, and then reach out to your name twin. You never know where it could take you.